Hi everyone, Paul Morbid here of Bolex Repair Philippines and Morbid Team Entertainment. Welcome to installment number 10 of an overhaul and CLA of a Bolex D8L. I've got this round spring, and what we're going to do is from around the motor winding area on the inside there, and it did have, rather, after I cleaned it, a lot of the grease filled with dirt. It also has, which you may not be able to see, a lot of surface rust all the way around it. So I'm going to do some screwdriver work, or possibly some light sandpaper work, and clean that off before I start greasing it again. Alright, let's get started. So I'm removing some of the surface rust off of here as much as I can. And there's a lot of it. I'll be going all the way around this just to clean off all that surface rust. More to go. Okay, as you can see, I've cleaned a lot of the surface rust off from around this ring here. I'll turn it on the other side, and you can see I've cleaned a lot there, but there's still a bit of the surface rust there that's permanent. And even though I grease it, it's still gonna hinder it from making that noise we heard in one of the previous videos. Okay, episode 9. So in order to get a smooth crank with much less noise, we're going to need to replace this part right here. Okay, this ring. So let's keep moving. Okay, next we're cleaning the spring winding mechanism here, and there's a lot of dirt and grime inside here under where the turn key would be, inside the filled and mixed with the grease. So we've got to clean that out. Okay, on the spring winder area there are 3 little springs with bearings. Put your fingers at the back, as I do, and I put my thumb over it so the springs won't pop out. I've got to remove the ring around the sides, around the perimeter. I'll stick my toothpick up and bring it out lightly. I need to clean that, so drop that down. If you look close, you can see the springs with the ball bearings around inside there. Just don't mess with them. This mechanism in the center can be removed, but the springs will fly out. You can just check it by eye, see if it needs cleaning. If it doesn't, it's really not worth messing with. Alright, moving on. You lose those springs, you got a problem. And to avoid any type of the springs flying out of there, which they easily can, understanding they do have grease inside of there added with them, as well as the bearings. As you can see, any type of small Ziploc bag. This is what I use. Scrubbing the motor spring clean from the inner and outer parts, all the way around. More to go. Cleaning off this disc, the turnkey area, the motor. All the way around. See that? That stops any type of smooth cranking right there. Other problems and issues. Moving on. More cleaning. More to go. Also clean inside this area As you can clearly see, that causes right there a lot of friction and winding. Apply some more alcohol and continue cleaning. All of this, these dirty greasy Q-tips with dirt on them, came from inside the crankshaft and on the underside of the inside of the crankshaft. Okay, so now what you can see that I've done is I've reinstalled the plate in the ring here with the 3 micro precision screws. Everything's been cleaned and re-lubricated. Alright, moving forward. Okay, so now as you can see, I've reinstalled the motor right here. I'm going to turn it over in just a moment and reinstall the in the crankshaft area with the turnkey and the ball bearings with the springs. This is going to be very delicate and it can be very difficult to do. I have to watch those springs so they won't pop out. So let's get started on that. Okay, this is a delicate part. Taking part of the winder here with the 3 springs and bearings, put in here very easily, very carefully. Line it up with the motor spindle in the center here. I'm holding the motor underneath. Next, I'm going to take the large screw, put in the center of the crankshaft, being very delicate. This is the part I want to get done as quickly as possible. What you don't want are those 3 springs and ball bearings to pop out, because they can do it. All right. Let's tighten that a touch more. Good enough. Now everything is secure, as you can see, as far as the screw is concerned. Next, not that, but the turnkey we want to place right in the center. Place this down gently, putting my thumb over the springs. Now that we have the turnkey in, I put my thumb over the springs and ball bearings slightly, and I'm going to put the lubricated plate over the turnkey gently, lining up the screw holes so I can get those 3 micro screws in there. So let's get moving on that. Next, test it out. Make sure you've done everything properly so far. by giving it some turns. You're not cranking the motor at this time, you're just giving it some turns so it's smooth. You can do this also, turn it around, and look at the motor inside as you turn it. Feels good. Moving on. Okay, now we can test it by giving it the full 22 half cranks. Okay, can you tell how nice that sounded? Much smoother. Okay, now at 12 frames per second. Very nice sound. 16 frames per second. Nice. 18 frames per second. Very nice. And 24, that's the highest without film. Very nice. Moving forward. So now I've got everything put back together and it's sounding really good. I hope you've enjoyed this 10th installment of a CLA and overhaul on a Bolex D8L. Do subscribe to my YouTube channel and put a like on my videos. And all we got to do next is do some replacement parts on this. Otherwise, we're looking good and sounding good. Thanks a lot, and bye-bye.